You're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast, your new favorite podcast for everything Bills and Sabres. What's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast, your favorite podcast for all the things Bills and Sabres, with the pals. Nigel, Tom, Jake, and Dana joins us this evening. Episode 55 coming at you. Quick reminder, folks, you know the drill. Follow our social medias. You can find us at Let's Go Buff Pod. That's Buff with 2 F's on Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Let's get around here and say hello to some of the fellas. Tom, how we doing, buddy?
Phenomenal. It's good to see you guys. I'm pumped to hang out. We got fun things to talk about. Today is my my cheers and my goodbye to my summer. I'm a teacher and I'm going back to work tomorrow. So I'm excited to celebrate with you guys.
I didn't realize it was tomorrow, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Back for some
Wow.
in-service days and kids next week. So sayonara summer. Here we go.
Damn, dude. Now, really, summer's one thing, but now you this is your first time you're taking like your dad hat off like for during the day.
Dude,
how's that going?
I haven't done it yet, so we'll get there.
Right. But like,
Tomorrow's
how you
the day.
feeling?
Oh, not good. No, I don't want to. I'm fair. It's been so awesome to be home with the little baby, and I'm excited. I'm excited to go back. It'll be cool to see all the friends and work stuff and do that kind of stuff again. But yeah, it's gonna be a bummer. I think the FOMO is really the emotion that I'm gonna have to deal with the most.
Totally. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Tom, that's all the time we have to spend to talk on your baby. Dana, how you doing, buddy?
Wait, we're not going to talk about his baby more? That's the most important thing we're doing here, right?
Tom's Baby Podcast. Yeah, welcome.
Thanks again, guys, for having me. Nige, let me just say, I don't think I've told you this yet, but that intro is killing. I love that intro.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
that
it.
always gets me hyped when I listen to it at home.
Yeah, I
But
wrote
yeah,
that myself, dude. No big deal.
yeah, right. It rocks. But yeah,
Thanks,
happy
bud.
to be here. My week has been a little interesting. My wife got COVID 6 days ago, so I've just been nursing her back to health, but I'm super happy to be here right now. Always happy to talk Bills and Sabres with you guys. So thanks again.
Yeah, dude. Always good to have you come and hang out with us for a bit.
Yeah, pal.
Well, I suppose we should get started with a beverage here of some sort, yeah?
Absolutely.
A beverage. So we'll crack and then we'll discuss. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh boys, that was a good one.
Yeah, I heard some loud ones in there.
Wow.
Is there somebody else recording with us?
I should have held it further back. My bad.
No, that was perfect.
Junk.
Well, I'll start, and I'm still technically breaking the rules here a little bit, but I decided the other day it is time for me to take a little bit of a break from the sauce, dude. I have drank so much in the month of July, and since I've been here in Nashville, I have drank so much, dude. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break here. So what I do have is the greatest seltzer on the planet Earth, the La Croix Limoncellos, dude. Oh, if y'all haven't had them, you got to get on it, dude. It's the best seltzer I've ever had in my life.
The LaCroix kick.
Yeah, dude. Tommy, I think Dana and I are in the same boat, so we'll break up the seltzer talk with what you're drinking there, my guy.
Well, I'm the one with the problem here. I got a crowler of Mountain Ale from Harpoon, so a nice little fall
Hell
beer.
yeah, dude.
Crispy 60s and cloudy today. It feels like a perfect fall day.
And Mr. Dana.
I wish I was drinking that. I just have a generic run-of-the-mill black cherry sparkling water.
Yeah, heck yeah. Now, before we get into this stuff, did you guys see today the backyard sports series is being resurrected? Like backyard baseball, backyard football?
Yeah. Dude, no, I did not. Wait, tell me.
Oh yeah,
nice.
No,
and I'm telling you right now, that is going to be part of the gaming rotation. The the freaking Kelsey brothers on their they have resurrected. Jason Kelsey has taken part of his retirement to dedicate himself to revisiting that series, and it sounds like he's literally gone and like reached out to developers. It's happening. Like it's officially going to be coming. I don't know if it's like the baseball, football, like basketball, like all three of them or what, but some form of it is coming back, which is going to be freaking sick,
dude. Like for console.
I don't know, man. I played that on PC growing up. I don't know what you guys played it on.
Yeah, no, that was what I played it on. Did you? Okay, so do you have a favorite one?
I really like the baseball. I had fun with the baseball.
But the baseball was fun too. I did nothing but crank homers with Pablo Sanchez, bro.
Yeah, Pablo, baby. Yeah, that's the legend.
He was sick. Oh my gosh.
guy.
Dan, did you play those games?
I didn't, but I actually didn't know there were 3 different games. I only knew about the baseball one.
Yeah.
And actually my wife's brother, he played the baseball one as a kid. So he's always like, yeah, he loves that game. I think
Dude,
on like early PlayStation.
It's the nostalgia, man.
They had most of the sports, dude. They had football, soccer, basketball, baseball. They had hockey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they hit all of them.
Yeah. Dude.
So yeah, dude.
I don't know how
God.
that ever, faded into the distance because it's coming back now. I'm excited. So,
Dude, that'll be sick. That'll be sick.
Now I made a mess of my beer, so you guys keep rolling. I'll be right back.
All right, buddy. Dana, what are you drinking there, my guy? Oh, you already did that.
I already told you.
We already did that part. My
I'd
God,
love to
I'm
hear
so
about
sorry.
some Sabres though, if you've got any.
Yeah,
news.
let's get into some hockey talk a little bit. So real quick, and this is obviously there's very little going on in the hockey world, but or at least in the Sabres world. But we did finally have the offer sheet situation between St. Louis and Edmonton resolve itself. Edmonton did not offer. Well, first of all, so if you didn't know about this, St. Louis presented offer sheets to Philip Broberg, who was a top 4 D-man in the playoffs for Edmonton, and Dylan Holloway. And they were both pretty affordable deals, but Edmonton is just so insanely cap-strapped that they either couldn't or just decided to take the hit, but they did not offer qualifying offers to counter the offers from St. Louis. So, yeah, Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway are both St. Louis Blues players now. Philip Broberg has a deal 2 years with a $4.58 million AAV. Dylan Holloway, 2 years, $2.29 million AAV. So good for those guys getting the bag. I guess the reason this is so significant is just you don't see it too much anymore. Rarely, if ever, do you see offer sheets. And it's kind of, I mean, it's objectively a tough thing to do to a colleague, like a fellow GM. So
yeah,
I would imagine that the relationship between those two guys is probably soured a pretty good amount in the last 48 hours or last week, I guess. So yeah, just super kind of fun to see those happen. I personally have been banging the door for Kevin Adams to use that cap space that the Sabres have and do some offer sheets himself. But it's a, you're basically, it seems like at least you're just ruining a relationship like right off the bat.
That's what
So,
it seems. Yeah.
And Edmonton just got a new GM. It was like the first thing this new GM did. So yeah, pretty wild. But
hot.
Yeah, super coming in hot. But yeah, that's it. Just worth talking about because it doesn't happen super often. Get into the Bills stuff now. Preseason recap against Pittsburgh. What do you think, Tom? Well, you actually just give me your initial thoughts.
Yeah. So, and maybe we can kind of go around the horn here because I know we all have opinions. I think all three of us watched the majority of that game. So, two things that stuck out to me. First off, Mitchell Trubisky is freaking terrible. Right? Is clearly not a starting level quarterback. And I would love maybe in these conversations later today on our 53-man roster projection of talking through like, is he the one, or should we go a little dumpster diving once cuts go by? And then part two is like, it was so fun to see Greg Rousseau show out. Yeah, it was a preseason game, but it was against the starters, against Jones, who is a highly drafted player in his second year, in a very should be a a very high caliber tackle, and it just had his way with the guy, just stole his lunch. It was awesome to see.
Yeah.
Danny, you want to go next?
Sure. maybe I'll leave you the biggest point, but for me, I really loved seeing the O-line finally get some mobility, along all the 5 starters and sort of push the defensive line back. The running backs looked really great. So yeah, the running game was really sweet.
All of
And
them look good.
I love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was that was actually the one that I was gonna say. So what's the big one that you're referring to, Dana? What am I missing?
Mr.
Buffalo Joe.
Buffalo Joe,
Joey
baby.
God. Oh my God. Yeah.
The Lancaster legend.
Yeah, that was so much fun to watch, dude. That was I can't believe I forgot about that. Oh, Jesus.
So what's his name,
yeah.
Nigel?
Joe Andreessen is his
Thank you.
name.
For the folks. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought I said it. I did say it. But yeah, that was just so much fun to watch. Great. It's a great story. I'm not positive like what the chances are that he's going to make the team just yet, but he definitely at the very least, dude. I mean, there's a really good chance he at the very least played himself onto someone's practice squad this weekend. I think that's probably a fair thing to say. And at the peak of it all, dude, like, did he maybe, garner more looks to earn the opportunity to make the 53-man roster here? Did he already make the 53-man roster here with that performance? I don't know, but super fun to watch him absolutely ball out. Really good like technique moments against, top level starters. I mean, that ability to carry an offensive lineman and then shed the block to make the tackle a couple times, tackling Justin Fields in space. Those are high athlete plays, which you see reflected in his RAS score. His RAS score, I believe, is like 9.4, something like that. So he's an insane athlete, and yeah, super fun to see what's going to happen with that whole thing.
Yeah, that was super fun. Just what a story, This kid, it's like one of us somehow getting on the field, and making meaningful plays and playing really well. And yeah, cool to see.
Absolutely.
Oh, Dana, you're muted, buddy.
Thank you so much. I was just going to say we might fight about where we're going to put him in the lineup, but I'll also note that he was calling the defense.
Yeah,
he had the mic in his helmet, so
yep.
like the fact that he just came off of nowhere and was able to call the defense and make whatever 12 tackles or whatever and be everywhere. It seemed it was crazy.
Yeah.
So
and
I think he can actually play. I think he can actually play.
And yeah, it was significant that he started. He was also playing against the Steelers once, like it wasn't just the depth players. Like he was playing against the Steelers offense, who was attempting to do something. And two quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, who were both trying to fight for a job, and like we kept them out of the end zone. Like that was a big deal. Yeah, I think it was overall a much better showing than preseason week 1 in my mind.
Yeah, particularly, excuse me, on the defensive side of the ball, I thought the defense really kicked ass this game, and it was whether it was the ones, the twos, the threes. I think we definitely got away with some with Justin Fields and Russ Wilson throwing the football, but there was also some really great plays made as well. So I just think in general the defense really looked solid, which is always nice.
They got away with some too. Daquan Hardy almost had 2 picks on Fields.
Yeah, true.
2 separate occasions. Just like for a guy who's trying to get himself a job, you got to think that you want to, play a little bit better. But now my question coming out of the
sorry, go ahead.
You're good. Is that with Mitchell Trubisky throwing the ball and not looking great, then Ben DiNucci throwing the ball and not looking great, did we get any more information about our wide receiver core?
Not really.
Yeah, it's tough. And I feel so bad for those guys. I think we touched on it last week. I think it was you that said it, Tom. It's just so brutal to get a look if you've got these guys throwing you the football. I have to imagine those guys, those bubble wide receivers, are very frustrated.
Right.
And I still think, truthfully, I still think of anybody you can get right now, Mitch is still probably your best bet. I do think when he does decide to throw the ball, which takes way too long, but when he does decide to throw the ball, he can let it rip a little bit. He does have some arm strength, and you get a good amount of mobility with Mitch Trubisky, which I think as a QB2 is probably something that is at least offers some volatility to the opposing defense. So I think he's probably still your best bet, but he's gonna be out now. So I don't know. I don't know who becomes. I don't even know who becomes the QB2 right now. Like did
Well,
Ben
we'll talk
DiNucci
about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to pose while we're talking about this preseason game a hot button situation that came out to everybody was the Keon Coleman red zone target. And I want to know where you guys stand on that because it's a super, like the disparity on that topic right now is super huge. Some people are talking like they're glad he didn't make the play because they didn't want to take the hit. Some people are like, you got to catch the ball. And I'm really curious as to where you guys land on that whole thing.
So I'm going to take the words from him. He was actually in an interview today and talked about it. He said, yeah, I need to make that play. I need to come down with that ball. Should have been a touchdown. So I agree with him, right? He knew what it should be. And it's disappointing that he didn't, make that catch, especially because his kind of calling card is making contested catches and especially red zone. Like, you got to hope that he makes that. So he called himself out today, and I think he's taken it to heart. He's probably been beaten to death in the film rooms this week with that, and yeah, I think he's got to make that play.
Yeah, that's nice to hear that he said he should have made the play. I do feel a little bit better about that now. But when I was watching it live, I don't know. It just felt like he sort of missed it, or I wasn't sure if he was pulling up because he saw the DB like screaming at him and he didn't want to get hurt. But then the next play, this almost made me more mad. If you go and watch the next play, they're still in the red zone, and it's clear that it's not a play that he's designed to get the ball with. He's all the way on the right side. The ball's going all the way to the left, and he just takes the play off. He just literally stands up and doesn't even move. And that was a little weird. I'm going to chalk that up to just thinking that he's young and he was really frustrated that he didn't catch the ball. But still, like, you got to at least like run a route or something. Who knows if the quarterback is going to have to scramble the other way. You got to get open. So I don't know. I will take this opportunity, though, to call out a bigger thing about preseason offense, and in particular, McDermott. I feel like he's just running 5 or 6 plays over and over and over. It's so vanilla. And it's clear with some teams, different teams have different ideas for what they want to get out of the preseason games. And for McD, what he, I think, wants is no injuries. And then if he can, hide the scheme that they're actually going to do, especially on offense, he's going to. So I don't know. Are they telling Coleman and these guys, like, don't take crazy chances if you feel like you're going to get hurt, just let it go, or what? I don't know. There's also the other aspect of Coleman's competing for a roster spot. Well, maybe to start. So you should show out and catch the ball. So I know I said a ton there. I'm going to stop now. I have so many other thoughts, but I'm going to stop.
Dude, I agree with everything that you guys have said. I think we're all on the same page that we all think he should have caught that. Where I get annoyed is like the people that are like, oh, thank God he didn't take the hit. Like, dude, that is nothing but you trying to sugarcoat the fact that he should have made that play and he didn't.
Yeah, that's
because if he did better. Yeah, if he did catch the ball and it was a touchdown, people would just be saying what a great play it was. They wouldn't be saying, oh, okay, I just wish he didn't so that he didn't get hit. Right. And then Dana, you said it just a second ago. Guys are fighting for a roster spot, dude. If that's an Andy Isabella or a Tyrell Shavers, dude, their only option is to catch the ball because that could be the only way they make the team. Right. So because you're Keon Coleman and you were picked 33 or whatever, that you're excused from that. Nah, not on the football team that I want to be a fan of, dude. That to me is, and I'm not saying the Bills culture is in shambles, but what I am saying is that's a guy that maybe doesn't quite have it yet with the way the Bills do things, because that really chapped my ass.
And I get that. I'm of the mindset he should have made the catch. I'm also of the mindset of it wasn't it's very rare for us to expect wide receivers, especially, to come into the league and immediately be like number one impactful players. You got to be the Marvin Harrisons of the world, the Malik Neighbors caliber, and Keon Coleman is not in that tier, right? So I think as much as we're expecting him to come in and do well this year, I think we also have to remember that it's going to be a learning process, especially he's a 20-year-old kid, like the kid can't go to the bar and order a beer. Like, I think he does have some maturation, some growing up to do, and I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well said.
Yep. That's a good point, Tom.
So, kind of rolling that into this upcoming preseason week, week 3, the Bills are playing, Panthers are coming to Buffalo. They're playing on Saturday at 1 p.m. It's already been announced that the starters are officially sitting. We haven't gotten a full list of who that is, but it's all the names right? All those guys, more than likely not, mostly because of the injury rash that we have right now. I just want to read off a couple names. The big ones are the week-to-weeks: Curtis Samuel, MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Quentin Morris, Damar Hamlin, and Mitch Trubisky are all week-to-week. Then, if you want me to, I could go through. There's a whole other list, and I'm going to hold it up to the screen right now.
There's 16 people hurt right now. It's crazy.
There's a laundry list. So I think this is McDermott saying we need to get healthy for week 1 in 3 weeks. So to kind of my first initial thought here is, okay, well, let's have a bunch of the second stringers, and we got to get to at least the 40 to give Tyler Bass 7 field goal kicks this week, and he's got to drill them.
Yeah, I honestly, dude, I that's normally what happens for the third preseason game anyway, is your starters don't play. It does suck that it's exacerbated for this team right now because of the injury situation, but I think the majority of this was going to happen anyway, and I think it's good because it's the last shot for, some of these bubble guys, right? Can you go out there and can you really make a case for yourself? I think as far as those injuries are concerned, the one that's probably the most concerning to me is the Curtis Samuel turf toe, because I had some high hopes for Curtis Samuel, and turf toe. We've seen receivers on this team miss almost an entire season with turf toe. It feels like it's a lot of the time it's one that is like it's a lingerer a bit, which stinks. And man, I'm just real, because if he can't go for like most of the season, I think all of a sudden our wide receiver depth is incredibly thin.
Well, especially for a guy like him, right? We don't have a guy like him, right? He's
Exactly.
so unique, and I'm sure he's going to play a very unique role. Like it's worrisome.
Yep.
Speaking of a guy like him, hey boys,
playing a unique role. What's up, buddy?
Hey Jake, welcome.
And you can all say hello to our fourth buddy, Jake. Jake, how we doing, buddy?
Oh, yay. Oh, good chunk.
I'm great. Good to see you guys. Sorry to interrupt. Just was busy looking at my house that I'm gonna have. So
hey, brother, congrats. Say thanks for fucking telling me that you bought a house, bro.
He told me.
It happened in the past 2 days. It happened so quickly. I didn't realize it was that quick. But
dude, I'm so stoked for you, pal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us what you're drinking, Jake, and then we'll get on with it.
I love it. I'm drinking a Talia West Coast IPA. It's named after the 3 of you boys. It's called the Dream Boat.
Cheers, pal. Here we go.
Cheers. Don't let me derail you.
And then he's suddenly the nicest guy around.
Yeah. That's the way it goes. But I heard you were talking about Curtis Samuel and his big toe.
Yes, his big toe is sprained, Jake. What do you think about it?
Turf toe. Do hockey players get turf toe, Jake?
And no, their feet are all wrapped up inside those boots.
That's true.
Yep.
They just
Very safe.
feet. Yeah.
They get ankles or anything?
Oh yeah, high ankle sprains are big.
High ankle sprains are common. Yeah.
Right.
Jake, real quick,
broken foot, for example, too. Like if you get hit with a puck, too. Sorry, I just want to say that. But yeah, like you're not straining the ligament in your toe from pushing off. But
Jake, do you have any thoughts on the offer sheet situation with St. Louis and Edmonton?
Did you talk about it at all already?
I did. Yeah, I gave all my thoughts.
I'll be very brief then. I think it's exciting that 2 offer sheets happened and that they were successful. There's only been I think 2 before this that have worked in the cap era. I know Dustin Penner was one of them. I can't remember the other one, but they're rare. They're rare to be offered, and they're rare to be signed, and then they're even rarer to be unmatched. So I think it's exciting. I hope there's more of it. I don't blame Edmonton. I think it probably poisons the well in the room a little bit. Every dollar you give those guys is one less dollar you can give to McDavid and Draisaitl, and I think they're going to try their absolute damnedest to hold on to them, as they should. So it's interesting. It's definitely a newsy piece of info that you don't usually get in August. So I'm happy to see it, and I don't think it moves the needle much for St. Louis. I think they'll still be fairly middling. But anyways, yeah. Fascinating little piece of info.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry to derail us a little bit there, guys. I was curious what his thoughts were.
Absolutely.
Back into the Bill stuff.
Right. Yeah. Back into the Bill stuff here. So yeah, we were just talking about Curtis Samuel. It's just a bummer because we don't know how severe the turf toe is. So I guess time will tell. It'll be, I think, something that'll be telling is if he's active for week 1. If it's like a super mild case, like that's 3 weeks from now, maybe more like 2.5 at this point. So I think that'll be super telling. 2.5 weeks, if it's not a serious case, hopefully is enough time.
And he rested last week. He didn't play.
Right.
Right. So he was not injured in the game against the Steelers. Like he was injured against the Bears. So he's already had a week and a half at this point.
Right.
From my cursory research into it, it's an injury that can only really get better with rest and recuperation. So is it something that guys play through typically if it's not too bad of a case?
Could, but it's definitely you see a drop off.
And that
also
explosiveness.
Also the percent increase. There's a high likelihood of re-injury. So
yeah,
they tend to not want to do that unless it's like, a Super Bowl or something.
Playoff situations. Yeah, totally. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Let's roll into the 53-man roster, boys. Here we are. It's that time of the year.
Yeah.
Let's go. So
Love it.
what we're gonna do is we are going to project our beautiful 53-man roster layout here. If you are listening, please find us on YouTube and come watch us there. Finish the episode over there. Give us a like while you're there. And the visualization will help you. What will happen is we're going to go through the entire roster. And at the top right here, your total count, we are looking for the number 53. On August 27th, I believe, a week from today, the roster cut downs will get to 53 across the league. Every team by a certain time, a week from today, will get down to 53, and the rest of the roster will be cut. Many of them will make it to practice squads, either in the city and the town that they're in, or be signed other places. So it's a big deal. We have the entire current 90-man roster down below that we're going to work through and place them up on the roster as we see fit. We're going to start probably with a bunch of the easy ones. Jake, I'm going to give you some swings at the piñata with the ones that we know, those starters, those names that we know and love.
Josh Allen. Oh, sorry.
Oh my God.
Jesus. Whoa. I'm sorry. If anybody was driving, I hope you stayed on the road.
My ear just exploded.
I'll move my mic back.
Yeah. He's a little excited. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll work through, and we're going to have, I'm sure, some lovely debates and conversation and speculation about how this might look. So this is going to be the Let's Go Buff Pod roster projection, and we'll see next week and see how close we are.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Please do, pal.
Is this what we would do, or is this we're thinking this is what Bean and McD are going to do?
Let's say what we would do.
That's more fun.
Yeah. Let's us kind of sit in the GM seat. And I'm
So
sure
this
a lot
is
of overlap, but the bottoms of the roster is where it's going to get a little interesting.
It's less of a projection and more of a desire.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that.
All right. Jake, I'll let you back up from microphone and try this again. Who do you for our quarterback room? Who do you see making our quarterback room?
A little overeager, but it's Josh Allen. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Yes. Josh Allen is making it. Very good. Okay. And then for my money right now, it's Mr. Trubisky. He's not on the. Oh, before we go too far, oh my goodness, we placed some players on the PUP and the reserved the IR over here. Tommy Doyle, Shane Buechele, Chase Claypool has been released. So Shane Buechele, the old quarterback 3, old is a weird term for that. Is he's over there. So, Mitch Trubisky will be making the team as quarterback 2 at the moment. And then Dana and Nigel, do you have any thoughts on either Ben DiNucci or Anthony Brown, the new addition that came in this week?
I'll be totally honest with you guys. I don't know a damn thing about Anthony Brown. But I'll say this, Ben DiNucci has one more week of time in the Bills system than Anthony Brown. So at this point, he would probably get my vote. I guess my question is, because Mitch is week to week, let's say he's not healthy for week 1, right? How does that all work? Would he have to go on to like the IR for 4 weeks or whatever?
Something. Oh yeah, or they roster him as injured, or they cut his ass and go get Kyle Allen because who's cut from the Steelers.
Or they could keep him on the roster, but then he'd be subject to waivers.
Yeah.
So they could roll the dice.
And to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, for our purposes here, we only need a roster 2 because one of these guys will be making it back to the practice squad. They will not be making the 53-man roster.
Yeah. Okay. I just wasn't sure if this is like, does it need to be our week 1 prediction because Mitch might not be there week 1. But
we don't know. Let's throw him on there right now.
All right.
Let's go to running back. Jake. What do you want for running back?
James Cook is obviously still the RB1.
Yep. Awesome.
I don't know how obvious it is anymore.
Ooh, interesting.
I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's obvious. Okay. Talk us through your case, Nige.
I got a soft spot for Ray Davis right now, dude. I got a pretty firm spot for Ray Davis right now.
Oh,
I thought he looked so good, and I know he's not running against ones, but so you get from what I've seen, and there hasn't been a lot of pass blocking, but his frame does more to suggest that he'll be better at pass blocking than James Cook. He doesn't dance around at the line of scrimmage like James Cook does. He makes a cut and he goes. He's got better contact balance than James Cook. His contact balance reminds me a lot of Devin Singletary, just with more juice. I'm not saying it's happening for sure. I just no longer feel like I can sit here and say that it's definitively obvious.
Okay.
So James Cook has some pass catching upside. Does Ray Davis have that? Equal, above, lesser?
You bet your ass he does. Yeah, I would say it's probably a little. His athleticism is objectively worse, so take that into consideration. But his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield is still very good.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. James's pedigree for pass catching is higher in my mind. He's
for sure
clearly had, and we all know all the different places where he has dropped the ball and had some hands problems. So maybe it's not as anecdotal as it is projection. But so Nigel, I'm guessing you want Ray Davis on the team.
Yes, he's going to make the team.
All right. Now between some depth players, Ty Johnson has been injured, but he played last week. He has also played some key roles in returning spots. So in my mind, I think he has enough value to make it as that third running back. Does anybody have a argument they'd like to make for either Darrington Evans or Frank Gore Jr.?
No, sir.
Cool. Ty Johnson, welcome to the squad. Now, before we go forward, Reggie Gilliam has played a little bit of a Swiss Army knife role, playing fullback, playing tight ends, playing a lot of special teams. And I've also seen him maybe want to be left off in a couple places. Do we put a marker on him and come back to him if we have room, or are we putting him on the squad?
No, put him on. I mean, he's such a Sean McDermott guy. He's a special teams ace, maybe I'll stretch it. He's very good. And he's a culture guy, and he can play tight end. He blocks super well. So I think he does enough things well that he's good.
I would agree.
My only counter argument to this is I want to see where we're at with the defensive tackle depth. And because I could see this being the year where Reggie Gilliam does not make the team for a priority at depth at a different position. I'm not saying I would like for that to happen, but yeah, I would mark him if we could.
Okay,
sure.
Let's mark them and we'll come back to these guys. We're gonna, as we go through, we'll find spots of, hey, this is this thing we should come back and see where we're at numbers wise.
Let me just say too, if it was my desires with the offense this year, because our wide receivers are so up in the air, and because we have a propensity to want to run 12 personnel, and arguably some of our best offensive weapons are tight ends, I might lean bigger bodies, more blocking prowess, and more mismatches due to size on the offense if I have like one or the other. So that's why Gilliam is clearly in for me,
Okay.
theoretically.
Okay. I
can buy
thought you were
that
setting
for
up an
sure.
argument for him to not be in another tight end. Interesting. All right. Well, we'll get there.
We'll get to tight ends. You watch.
Yeah. All right. So O-line, historically, teams keep, and the Bills included, keep 9 to 10 offensive linemen. Jake, you want some swings at this pinata?
Sure. Well, I'll take Deion Dawkins, obviously.
Okay.
Starting
The
tackle.
snowman.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No
Man.
shot. He's not
All,
there.
pro, all,
All go on. Go
all
on.
pro snow. There we go. That's what I want. Yeah. Sorry.
I'll take Spencer Brown. He'll be starting on the other side. No.
Agreed.
In the middle, well, the center has been Connor McGovern with some trepidation from what I've talked with you guys about. And then I know Osiris Torrance going into his second year will be on the right guard position.
Bingo.
job, Jake.
Oh, look at our
Wow.
boy.
I might have got
Growing
that
up.
wrong.
He's growing up.
So then that leaves just
You're
left
listening.
guard, which was Connor McGovern last year. And I'm going to turn it over to the pros here. Where do you guys see the line
The
shaping up?
pros. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's
David
real
Edwards.
generous, Jake.
Hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. David Edwards has been playing starting left guard for now.
Hmm.
And I think he
Yep.
has that pretty much locked up. All
I
right.
like it.
So, Nigel, I'm gonna give you the first crack at who do you see as some of our depth players here on the O line. We have quite a
I'll take-
contingent here.
Yeah, I'll take what is probably the easiest one in Ryan Vandermark. Ryan Vandermark, probably the first tackle off the bench right now. I think he's going to make this team.
Whoa. Nice. Dana, I'll give you a swing at the pinata.
Yes. This isn't predictive as to the next guy, but this is the guy I'm most interested and excited for, which is Van Pran Granger.
VPG. Yeah, man. He's been playing playing a lot of guard in these preseason games and looking really good. Like, I think he's going to develop in and be a really solid player for us.
And he played a bunch of center in college too.
Yep. Oh, I copied him. All right. And then my player that I'm going to take is Alex Aaron Anderson, excuse me. I think he's just such a versatile player. I believe that he has experience at all 5 spots across the line. He's kind of like a developing Ryan Bates that we had in the roster last year. So I think he's done a good job of making his mark on this team and will be included. So we're at 8, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready to pull the trigger on anybody else?
Yes. Real
Absolutely.
quick, Tom, I think it is Alec. It's A-L-E-C. You was right.
Oh, so my
Yeah.
brain said one thing, but my fingers did another.
That's okay. I think the next, and now this is where it gets a little bit tougher, but from what I have seen and his status as a draft pick, I think Tylen Grable looks like he has a really, really, really good shot to make this team. That would be, again, not sure if it's the next guy, but I really can see Tylen Grable making this team.
Yep.
I'd
I agree
agree with you.
100%.
Yeah, he's been running with the 2s in preseason and is reportedly doing really well.
Yep,
All right, we're at
and look-
9. Is there anybody here you want to add in and put out as a little marker? It will come back into debate, or leave him for now.
My next guy, I think my next guy is probably Will Clapp. I don't know about Lyle Collins, but I'm not dying to take any of these guys. So I would say for now, let's leave it and give ourselves the flexibility.
Yeah, I think because the starting 5 are so strong, and then a lot of the back 4 have such versatility, I think I'm cool with running with 9.
Cool. We can come back and if we need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nice work, folks. Whoa. Hello.
Forks.
Hey, you
Forky
folks.
forks.
Hey, I'll spoon you. All right. Jake, let's go to the wide receiver room, buddy. Want some swings?
Yeah, I'll take some swings. So Curtis Samuel, you guys are talking about him being injured, but he's still making the squad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Keon Coleman, based on pedigree and draft spot, I think he's making it.
It'd be awesome if he wasn't such a bitch. Just kidding.
Wait,
kidding, everybody.
What
Just kidding.
happened?
Just
What
kidding.
happened?
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
You missed the whole conversation. He had a dropped touchdown pass in last week's preseason game that kind of hit him in the hands, and he didn't come down with, and there was a whole debacle on the Twitter sphere about it. So
I see. No, I'm on board. Print the bumper stickers. Coleman's a bitch. I'm on board. Next one I'll
No,
take.
no.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Let me just say though, between the first preseason and the second preseason, the first one, he didn't really get open and he didn't really catch much. The second one in the red zone, he actually got open. He just didn't catch
get
it.
open. Right.
So we can put it all together and
maybe the
week 3. Now the only other one I'll snag is Khalil Shakir. I think he's a lock to make the team.
Cool.
And then I will again turn it over to you guys to discuss.
I want to take the next one because it's the home repair extraordinaire, Mac Hollins.
Money man.
This guy is absolutely making the team. He's a really great tool and weapon to use in the offense. He's a large blocker, will be definitely good hands. Like, he's going to be reliable. And he also has a huge and tremendous special teams pedigree. So he's absolutely making this team. I call him home repair because he's apparently making TikToks about, like, fun little things around your house. It's actually quite entertaining.
I'm gonna have to subscribe. He's gonna help me out, fix a boiler or something down in the basement. Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay, so here's my question, and I didn't look at this or pay attention to it in the game. I know that it was Daquan Hardy handling the punt return that game. Who was handling the kick off returning responsibilities? Do you guys remember?
I thought it was Hardy.
It might have been. I don't remember.
Was it a running back also? I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Was it KJ Hamler? And I don't think it was. Which is why I'm like, okay, is this fifth receiver? Is it KJ just because of the return ability? Good.
So now, an interesting thing about Marquez Valdez-Scantling is that he has some guaranteed money on his contract. I think all of it's guaranteed, right? I think it's like $3 million. It's not a huge bucket of money, but it's money.
Yeah, and I think for that reason, and again, it's so hard to predict because we don't know about his injury situation too much yet. We know he's week to week.
Can I ask a quick question on that guaranteed money piece? So because it's guaranteed, if we say, you know what, he's the 7th best receiver not making the team, does that guaranteed money still count against the cap? Is that why you're saying it's probably
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep, we don't get that back. Yep.
I'd like to make a case for somebody.
Go for it.
If you don't mind. I've never really liked MVS in terms of broad skill set. I know he's just like a straight guy, like down the middle of the field, far, really fast. But he seems like he's getting a little bit older. And in preseason, I don't feel like he's been doing much with Josh. For me, it comes down to wanting a little bit more size for this running game and for this 12 personnel. And if I was going to do that, I would go with Shavers. He's a 6'4", 211 pounds. He's had good synergy with Josh and with the second stringers. I would go with Shavers.
He absolutely, I don't think I sent this to the group chat. He absolutely fucking decleated somebody, like a defensive end on a running play, dude. Like decapitated a defenseman. It was awesome.
And he's been praised by players, by coaches, like a lot. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Let's throw him on.
Yeah, I would be. And I think you make good points there, Dana. I think you make good points about the MVS stuff. He is getting older. He offers a more limited skill set. He's not giving you anything on special teams.
Yep. I mean, if we were going predictive, it's probably still MVS, but I like Shavers better.
I'm going to make a case that this is a spot where we keep an extra. We go heavy. And I'm happy to put a little marker on it. We can come back on this and debate. My big thing about keeping MVS is twofold. Number one, that we have guaranteed money for him and allotted for him already. And number two, we don't really have a field stretcher in the rest of this running back or a quarter. Oh my gosh. wide receiver room. What position we talk about? We don't have somebody who's really able to take it and be that downfield threat, and they at least specialize in that. So I would like to make the case for MVS to make it in as a little orange guy like Reggie Gilliam.
Okay.
Let's allow it for now, but I don't know that I agree that we don't have anybody else with that skill set.
Who would you say?
If we're gonna do orange, put Hamler up here in orange as well.
Okay.
Because I would.
That's 7 guys though. We know we're not keeping 7.
We'll come back.
But I would.
I
would vote for Hamler over MVS.
Okay.
As
I
the
see what you're
6th.
saying.
I think let's just set ourselves up. We'll come back to it.
Cool.
Tight end. Jacob.
I don't need all the low hanging fruit, but this one is low hanging. It's
You look
Dawson.
hungry.
It's Dawson Knox. It's Dalton Kincaid. They're your top 2. They're probably gonna be on the field for quite a bit of time. So yeah, those 2. If we're keeping 3, I'll throw it to you guys to discuss who's making it over them, over the other candidates.
I don't even think there's much of a debate to this one anymore. It's Q Morris. All the preseason snaps indicate that he's getting snaps over Zach Davidson and Trey McKitty. I think there's a really great battle between those 2 for the practice squad spot. But I think Q Morris is going to make this team, and I don't think there's really even much debate based on what we've seen in the preseason.
Yep, I agree. On my wants, I took 4 tight ends. I put Davidson in as well. Given that I want to run the ball, I want these size mismatches. I want to be really physical. I want more tight ends on the field more often. I want them to be fresh. So if you're cool putting Davidson up in orange, that would be cool.
I'm
I
down
can
for the
absolutely
conversation.
see the argument.
Yeah,
Cool.
I like it.
I will say, if we did 4 tight ends, I would not want 6 wide receivers.
Correct. Yeah, that's the thing and that's going to happen here is as we go, there will be, hey, if you're heavy in one room, you can't be heavy other places. So there's going to be some give and take, and I think that's going to be the discussion as we kind of close out this roster.
Cool.
So we're done with the offense. We're at 26 players. So essentially half the roster, right there. So
How are we at 26?
2, 4, 9, 7, 4.
Oh, it's counting all the orange.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Because right now they're included. Yep.
I got you.
All right, let's go to the defense. Defensive end. Some low-hanging fruit that I'm gonna take from Jake. Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, AJ Epinesa are all making this roster. Will be very exciting to see Groot have an awesome year. It'll be very exciting to see Von Miller hopefully come back to life. And let's see AJ Epinesa and see what he does when he have lots more starting snaps.
I've been disappointed with Epinesa so far.
Yeah, in the preseason, he hasn't done much, but I feel like he was on a roll before he got hurt last year.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
I think this defensive end room can be wrapped up very quickly, and I would honestly be surprised if anybody felt differently. But I think we're gonna keep 5, and it's gonna be DeJuan Smoot, and it's gonna be Javon Solomon.
I'm down. That's the 5 I want.
Yep.
Any
Run through
disagreement?
the 5 again. Sorry, I was
Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, AJ Epinesa, DeJuan Smoot, and Javon Solomon.
Lock it in.
I love the name DeJuan Smoot.
Right?
It's a great name. He's looked good. And Javon Solomon, I don't know if we talked about him. I don't think we did. He had a couple of really nice moments this past game. I think he looked nice.
Yeah. And especially in run defending, which is not necessarily his game. So it's cool to see him really. It's clear he's been spending a lot of time trying to build that part of his game, and hopefully he can unleash the pass rush later on as well.
Yeah,
For sure.
Set the edge with speed or with strength, which was nice to see.
Okay, D tackle. Here we go, baby. Some of the easy ones: Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones. Absolutely making this squad. Dwayne Carter, 3rd round pick, absolutely making this squad. And Dana, I'll throw it over to you, bud. Who else is going to fill out this D tackle room?
I think I want 5, but on the 4th spot, I would take Johnson.
Cool. And And then Nige, who's cleaning this up?
Deshaun.
Deshaun. All right.
Yep.
It'd be awesome to see Eli Anku and Gable Stevenson of the rest of this room to be able to make it back to the practice squad. Eli Anku has been a reliable player. He started games for us when needed, and played well. Would love to have him back. And Gable Stevenson, I think, is just such a fun little wild card. Like, who knows what he's going to become, and hopefully nobody else wants to pluck him. If somebody were to pluck a released player from the Bills, they would have to sign them to the 53.
Yep.
So that's the nice part. If he's not making our 53, it's more than likely he's not going to make somebody else's 53. It's possible, but somebody would have to be pretty aggressive to go in and take Gable Stevenson, who's not with very little football experience. So I'm fairly confident he's going to make it back to us, but that's the process for anybody out there wondering.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'd take Anquo first, and I think he was signed a couple times last year too, and then came back to our practice squad.
Yep, that's happened. That's happened before. Yep. Cool. All right, let's keep rolling. Jake, I'm bringing you back to the low-hanging fruit tree. Linebacker, who do you want, buddy?
I don't know how low-hanging fruit this is with the conversations we've had about Matt Milano, but I think it's Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard are two locks. Yeah,
Matt is absolutely making the team this year. That is, it's the next couple of years that you have to think about. But
all right, fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yep, he's okay. Nige, take it away, bud.
Dorian. He's going to make the team because he has to be Matt Milano. And yeah. And to his credit, I thought he looked a little bit more comfortable in his coverage snaps this past game. I'll tell you what, dude, and I appreciate this mentality, but the dude just fucking flies around, man. Just like his hair's on fire. And if there's a position on the field where I want that mentality, it is linebacker. So I'll give his credit there. I still think he needs to play with a little bit more restraint, but I like Dorian. I think he's going to be all right.
Our boy Joe Marino gives the best football description I've ever heard. Dorian Williams is a player who will stick his head in a fan and like it. And I love that. I thought that's the best.
That's what I want from my linebackers.
I think this might be a year where we only keep 5. And my argument is that in the past we've had multiple one or two linebackers who have played significant special teams reps. I don't know if we have the Tyler Medikevich of this year on this roster, right? Who's playing linebacker. I think they're going to be pulled from other places. So this might be the year where we only keep 5 linebackers. The 2 others that I'm interested in right now are Deion Jones and the Buffalo Kid, Joe Andreessen. Those are the 2 that I would want to roster. I think Nicholas Moreau is dealing with some injuries. Edufan Ulofoshio is a draft pick from this last year is also dealing with injuries. And so is Balen Spector. So I think injuries has really pushed this room up a little bit, but the 2 that I want are Deion Jones and Joe Andreessen.
So I still want to put Nicholas Moreau in orange because when he's healthy, I'll say this, I would prioritize those 6 linebackers over those 6 wide receivers or those 4 tight ends, right? Like I would rather that depth go to one of those linebackers than go to a KJ Hamler or a Zach Davidson personally.
Nige, can you make the Moreau over Spector argument?
I'm kind of basing that in 2 things. One of those things, and I think this is the more important one, is experience. Nick Moreau has starting experience in the NFL. I think he prototypes to a bit more of a downhill player than Balen Spector, which I guess I don't know if that's necessarily a positive thing, but I just feel like with so much athleticism in that linebacker room right now, I do want to make sure I have a little bit of size, because once you lose your starters, all bets are off, right? I think we're probably going to see a deployment at the position, probably, depending on how Dorian Williams coverage stuff goes. But okay. the Balen Spector, I mean, he gets a hangnail walking out of his house. He's hurt all the time. So that's my thought there. I'd rather have,
And I have a thought here that I think Matt Milano is going to go to some kind of short-term IR. So he might make their roster initially and then move to IR, and then one of these special teams players, one of these depth players, will be moved onto the roster.
Maybe.
So yeah, I agree with that. I still want 6 linebackers personally.
Including Matt Milano?
No. So I think with Matt Milano, like if you put him on IR now, he can't come back in the regular season.
Right.
We don't want to do that. So what we normally do is something like that is we tell Reed Ferguson to chill. We put Milano on the active roster for the 53. Then we put Milano the next day on IR so he can come back, and then we sign Reed Ferguson.
Right.
So if I want 6, I would want 6 plus Milano.
So yeah, okay. For right now, our purposes, we're gonna get to 7. All right, I like it.
If you guys are cool with 6, I know Nigel was saying he wanted 5. Anyway, I'm down with Moreau over Spector. I was just interested. For me, I would take Ulofoshio. I'd put him on the active.
I would agree. I think especially because he's a draft pick.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put him in orange for now, but we'll come back to that and clean that up in a little bit.
Boys, I'm also going to say we're at 56 here, so 56 minutes.
Move.
I mean, so
We're
Tommy,
gonna
for the last 2, why don't you just put all the ones that you think, and then Dana, if we disagree with ones, we can go for it real quick.
Okay.
Sure.
So we're getting to the DB room here, the corners and the safeties. The ones that are absolutely making the squad in the corner room are Teron Johnson, slot corner extraordinaire, Rasul Douglas, Christian Benford, Kyer Elam, in my mind, are the ones that are absolutely making this squad. I believe that Daquan Hardy has also made his case to making the squad because of his return abilities. And to be honest with you, he's played his butt off playing actual corner, which is really cool because in the past we've had like a Saran Neal, who is a guy, he plays special teams, but do you want him playing in the backfield? I don't know. So I think that's pretty cool to see him already making some splashes there. Any thoughts there, boys?
I think you nailed it. I think that's the cornerback room.
There is I do like Ingram quite a bit. If we have extra space, maybe put him in orange.
We'll throw him in orange. The old orange treatment.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, moving to safety. This one gets a little funky. So the ones making the squad, I think, are Taylor Rapp, Mike Edwards, Cole Bishop, absolutely. And then it gets a little funky. I think Cam Lewis has a versatility thing that really lends himself to making this roster. I think Damar Hamlin, because he's had experience on this team, he is the most experienced safety in the Bills scheme. I think he has a case. I think Kendall Williamson absolutely will not. I think D. Delaney, he has some starting experience across the league, so he could if injuries continue to become a problem. But in my mind, I think it's Cam Lewis and Damar Hamlin are the 2 that we should be adding to this list.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And I think there's no way, and I know this is meant to be our list, but I think there's no way those 2 aren't making the team. I think you're going to have 10 DBs.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially because we've had injury issues in the past. I think you just got to keep the men in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I would not put go back up. There was one in the top 3 that I don't know much about Mike Edwards. I would not want him personally over definitely Lewis.
I want Mike Edwards.
Him versus Hamlin. I mean,
the big issue for him has been injuries, right? He's been injured this offseason and has not had a ton of time practice, but I think he's had starting reps across the league. I think
okay.
He's a bona fide starting safety, undoubtedly. If he's healthy, yep. I think that battle gets wrapped up pretty quickly, truly.
Cool. I haven't seen him play with anybody else, and I haven't seen him play on a Bills field yet, so I have no idea.
His Chiefs tape is awesome. I loved his tape with the Chiefs.
Cool.
All right, so we have some moves to do, boys. We're at 57. We need to get to 53. One that I would like to do, just for this semantics of this, we're going to move Matt Milano over here to IR.
Yep.
And now we have some decisions to make. Nigel, I'm going to give you the first axe.
Well, Well, I think there's an easy
Or-
one. If
or
we're
the
gonna
first, like, hey, this one's actually staying. Your choice.
I think it's either MVS or KJ. Let's figure that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that's a spot where,
or none of them.
or yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking. That's
be
what, like, what
neither.
I'm leaning towards. But I think, and again, I know I keep going back to the predictive way. I think it's gonna be MVS, but I'm not dying for it. I would take both of them off. I'm not dying for either of those guys.
I'm fine with that.
Sweet. I love it.
Good. Okay. 54. We need to take one more player off.
Yeah. Yes, we're doing 4 tight ends, dude. I love it.
I think
So-
Reggie Gilliam's. I think he has to stay.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I would just take Ingram off. If we're gonna keep 5 safeties, then I don't think we need 11 DBs. 10 DBs is cool.
Yeah, and especially because he's a guy we could get back in the practice squad pretty easy. I think. Nicholas Moreau has enough experience that he'd be picked up, and then Edouard is a draft pick. I think he would be picked up. There's enough curiosity there that I think he could get picked up.
Yeah.
All right.
Ingram
Is that
versus
roster, boys?
Hamlin. What about that?
I think Hamlin stays. I think he's been in the starting role. I think this coaching staff likes him.
Cool.
And he's also started for this team before. I think he has the pedigree to do it.
Sweet.
Boys, is this our projected 53-man roster?
I can't believe we predicted 4 tight ends.
Projected? No, it's not predictive. It is not
Okay.
predictive.
Okay, all right.
Right.
all right.
This
Desired?
is what I would love. This is awesome. This is like Dana's.
Yeah.
You can name it as that.
This is Dana's dream. I think predictively, I think Zach Davidson does not make it.
I
And
agree with you.
then A linebacker or another wide receiver stays or something like that. But
I think that's where the swap will be. I think predictively, it's going to be Zach Davidson gone, MVS back on the roster. But
6.
the rest of it, and I guess the only other one, but I'm not sure who I would add on. The only other one that I'm really on the fence with, and you guys disagree, is Ulofoshio. I just don't feel like I've seen much, but maybe I just haven't been paying attention.
I don't think we have either, but I think because he is a draft pick, he has a strong case to make it.
He's
Yeah.
also been hurt. He had a rib injury, so he hasn't played much.
It's based solely on draft picks for me.
Cool. All righty.
All right, boys.
Fair enough.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah. Good stuff, fellas.
Yeah, 2 more weeks till Bills football. This weekend they're playing the
Oh,
Panthers
snap.
in Buffalo, so will be fun to tune in. Then we have a good 2 weeks until they're hosting Arizona at home in Orchard Park. So pretty exciting. Next week we're going to break down the upcoming schedule and do some bold predictions for the season. So tune in, come check us out, and thanks for hanging out with us, folks. Any other wrap up thoughts, boys?
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills, baby. All right. Hey, Tom, take us out of here.
Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for spending some time with us. Please give us a like and a follow on Instagram, X, TikTok, and our YouTube channel at Let's Go Buff Pod. These are my pals, Jake and Nigel. My name is Tom, and you're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast. We're sending you love wherever you are. Go Bills, go Sabres, let's go Buffalo.